100 Oklahoma School Sports on this Monday morning, folks. Yes, it's Monday. Got a little time off this week, so I figured I would shoot a show Monday morning. Took Sunday off, kind of relaxed from all the games that went over the weekend. Some big-time games from Class 6A1, 6A2, and all the way to 5A. Some teams broke some records. Some teams won their first championship since 1966. That's how it goes, folks. That's what it's all about, winning that gold ball. As you can see, I got it up there. Winning the gold ball is what it's all about. It's no feeling for a high school kid to win that gold ball. And why I think that's so cool, because I've had a chance to watch my kid win a state championship in wrestling. And that feeling as a parent when your kid wins, it's a great feeling because I know how hard they work for it. And all these young men that's off there after fighting, from summertime all the way to the end of, the 1st of December, trying to win the gold ball. It's a lot of work. That's a lot of injuries, cold, hot, running, jogging, whatever you have to do to get yourself there. And these young men have done it, from all different classes. Like I said, we'll talk about the 3 classes, then we'll break down the championships going into class 3A, 4A, and both 2As. But good deal from every young man, like I said, that won a gold ball this weekend. We'll start off with Sand Springs over Choctaw. A great game. I think it was 32-27. Bobby Klink wins his first one. Ain't won one since 1966. Jake Corbin won one last year, comes up short again this year. He's been there a few times. One of the things that, with Jake's team, and I'm not dogging him, and I'm just keeping it 100 what the show's called, is just the penalties. You can't beat good teams when you have 18-some penalties, and the announcers are talking about not being very disciplined. And guys, I mean, this is the deal. You have to get these guys ready for college. I mean, their next step is college if they're seniors, or even if they're going to be juniors coming back. You got to clean those things up. You can't have so many penalties and just, and then shoot yourself in the foot. And that's what kind of happened to Choctaw the other night, lose a tough game and broke out, Hawk gets a touchdown. And so, they get the lead, but, Choctaw's defense is always pretty good. You got a couple of guys going to play D1 ball, but you shoot yourself in the foot by getting penalties. And you can't do those things. It's going to catch up with you. Mike Dunn had kind of talked about that when he came on the show. Is penalties with Carl Albert, a great team, but you can't put yourself behind the chains. And that was the difference of, the Choctaw Sand Springs game. But like I said, congratulations to, Bobby Klink and Sand Springs. Those guys deserve it. Has been fighting, when Chris Evans came on this show, he said, this is their year, and it was their year. And like they knocked off Choctaw, the team that won state last year. And so they get their first state championship, like I said, since 1966. So congratulations to them. And then you got Bixby, and Owasso played in the state championship last year. The team I had going was Jinx. Didn't make it. Sorry for KD. I did see him switch himself back over to Oklahoma State. So congratulations to Oklahoma State getting a great running back, which they already got a great one there right now with Fields. So you load that up. And I wouldn't be surprised if the young man from over at North Texas, Adam Hawkins, and end up joining Oklahoma State's backfield because of what he did at North Texas and coming over to the Big 12. I think he could do the same thing as a true freshman. Had over 20-some touchdowns, and so big shout out to that young man with his success that he did this season over at North Texas. I know they're not going to make it to the big dance, but just a great year. That program has not have a lot of winning tradition, and I think right now they're sitting at least 10-2 or somewhere in that range. But congratulations to him to get to go to a good bowl game. So last time, I can look it up, but when's the last time North Texas went to a bowl game? So good job to them. And then, like I said, Bixby, winning the 11 state championship, 11 out of the 12 years, 8 straight. So haven't caught up with Carl Albert yet, but they're on the way. Coach McGovern's probably one of the best coaches in the state of Oklahoma. Every year he does it. He don't have the super talent. He has good talent, but he don't have like a bunch of 25 stars out there running around. But they're just well coached. When you're well coached and there's an oil machine and everything goes good, kind of like Carl Albert, that's what's going to happen. You're gonna plug and play and move on, and nothing going to miss. You talk about the Presley boys and some of the guys they've had. And guess what? They still keep it going. They did have a Presley this year, but they still keep it going. So congratulations to them winning another state championship. Like I said, that's 11 out of the 12, they're eight straight. Good job with, Coach Montgomery, my man, Coach Cole over there. So I know he was over at Bristol, comes back to Bixby. I think he started coaching linebackers this year. He was coaching safeties in his year before. A guy I got a chance to talk to and done a podcast with. So congratulations to him and his and their staff over there at Bixby, man. Just a great, outstanding program. If you're an up and coming coach, man, I would probably try to go get with Coach Montgomery and do some study behind him, because the guy got it going on. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a college job down the road, because he is a great coach. But the Colorado Titans, a team that I follow a lot this year, got a lot of stock into those because of two young men with Elijah and Anderson, and then some of the other young men on the team, Bo Davis and Sexton, and some of those guys got a chance to be around him. Coach for 7-on-7, DJ Anderson, and the young man that was at Memphis City came over to Colorado this year, play a little DB. Anderson, you did get beat one time, young man, but you straightened it up. I mean, it happens. Thing about being a DB and a quarterback, you got to have a short memory, because if you let it linger on you, it'll happen again. But he redeemed himself, had a couple good tackles. 14 had an excellent interception, man. One-handed pick, took it back for about 50 yards. This team is you talk about it. They show all the stars that was at the game from Colorado's past. Some of the great guys they've had there, Rob and DeQuazy and Marcus, and I mean all these guys are there. Treshawn and all these guys has been there. JD Reynolds, old school head Colorado guy, coach of Mount St. Mary. Got to give you some love, JD. You coach at Mount St. Mary, but you had Colorado gear on. I ain't mad at you. That's where you went to school, but it's good to see all these guys come back, and that's one thing about Colorado. They bring back the tradition of a lot of guys that played there come back and support the high school team and what they're doing, especially during the state championship. To see all those guys lined up on a cold Saturday afternoon, folks, it was a little chilly out there. They said it's going to get 50. I don't think it ever got 50, but a clean game for the most part. Not a little chippy talking like you had in the Newcastle game. So both teams was very, very well coached up. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Bishop McGinnis was a good team. Quarterback, sophomore, young man is going to be, I'm telling you, by the time he leaves Bishop McGinnis, he is going to be a problem for a lot of 5A schools. Bishop McGinnis did have a big line up front. He got loose a couple times, but the kid could throw the ball 60 yards down the field, man. And I'm just telling you right now, he is going to be a problem. He's going to be a headache for a lot of defensive coordinators here in the next, 2 years, because you got to face this young man. He's just a sophomore. And once he really get that quarterback training, I don't know how he got beat out before, but, I mean, sometimes it happens. You go to an older guy, but I'm telling you right now, he can go to a lot of different high schools and start for him. And he's good. Darby's over there, and I don't know if he's one of Darby's kids from Impact, but the young man was really, really good. He didn't get a chance to get off, but, he kind of reminded you a little bit of Michael Vick, though. He had some quick feet, had that little left, but he could throw the football, folks. He could really throw the football. So don't count Bishop McGinnis out next year. I don't know how much they're losing or they got coming back, but I know they got him coming back. So that's a big start right there. Carl Albert. It's just a different breed, man. I mean, you plug and play. You lose 7, 8 guys to go off the college ball, and guess what? You think they're done. They can't do it again. Well, they do it again, and you say that every year. Oh, they can't. They do it again. Mike Dunn's been there 5 years, 6 years, whatever. Got beat by Collinsville. On time he's lost, a game. Going into the championship, he loses to Collinsville. Easily could have won that game and be on the, keep on having that streak going. But it happened his first year, and he figured it all things out. And this is what sets Carl Albert apart. People can ask me, what sets Carl Albert apart? Carl Albert set apart by the coaching staff. Coaching staff, some of these guys have been together for years. I was talking to Lance, and he's like, man, this guy coached me when I was at Dell City with Coach Rose. And so it just tells you where these guys are at. They don't leave. I mean, they might left Dell City and came over to Colorado with Coach Rose, but they don't leave. They don't go. Herbert, him and his dad, they both were at Carl Albert. Herbert's a defensive coordinator, a man that could, coach a lot and probably could be a head coach at a lot of different places. But he's here. He's made his home here, and his dad's with him, and they're getting a coach. And so, defense coordinator's done a really good job. You had Corley here, and you had Coach Rose, and these guys have done a great job. And they was coaching. Now you bring in another young guy that played at Carl Albert and also went, that played at Carl Albert, and now he's coaching at Carl Albert, and Mike Dunn. And so the tradition is so strong, man. And I know people probably laugh at me, but I said Middle City used to be like that, and Middle City was. If anybody know the Middle City in the 90s, they were just like this Carl Albert, man. They had coaches that stayed, and you had guys like Ron Smith and Epps and Viverka and Huggins and then Oliver and all these guys were there, and then they had their turn coaching. Coach V won. I think he won. He might have won one or two. He might not have won none. I know Huggins won some. You had Evans. So these guys, they built a tradition. Coach Smith was there, and he left and went off to Deer Creek, and then I think Sand Springs or Owasso, and won some games or won state championship at Deer Creek. But these guys, man, they get together and they stay. And that's what Carl Albert is, man. It's like a glove, man. They get it on, it fits, and they don't leave. And so that's what makes them so good, because they don't leave, and so they know what to do. They don't have to go in and figure out how we're going to do. All we're going to do is how can we plug this young man into our system and get him to buy into what we want him to do. And once that young man buys in, guess what? The train keeps rolling. Now you look at like X-Rob. You had X-Rob. You had Brazil's young man there, a few years. Then you plug in X and you got X leave, and you're like, oh, man, what we're going to do, man? This guy was a great back, had all kind of records, and, the logic slides right in. First-year starter, over 50-some touchdowns, Gatorade Player of the Year. Congratulations, that young man, Gatorade Player of the Year. Slides in and act like you haven't, like X wasn't there. And so that's what happens. You get these guys, they come in, they buy into the system. These coaches do a good job. Cam does a good job, and all these guys that's on that staff does a great job with these young men and getting them going. So it's been a big deal to watch these guys. These young men. Because people are like, man, they're gonna fall off, and they don't fall off. And you have Anderson comes in. You had a young man in Sperry here 2 years ago. You had Cash here, and you think, oh, is Anderson going to be able to fill the shoes of these two guys? Not only did he fill the shoes, I mean, kid threw for over, it was 17 for 24, 216 yards, 2 TDs. One of the TDs he threw to Jackson Webster 6 seconds before halftime. You couldn't have dropped it in the bucket no better than what he did. Rolls out, boom. And folks, this is the real deal. And I get so tickled because I had a chance to be around this young man, for the last year or two, him training and getting himself better. How can I get myself better, Tony? How can I get faster? What can I do? After practice, these guys stand after throwing the ball, after practice, stand out, lifting weights after practice, stand out, doing speed and agilities every Sunday morning before church or after church. He's getting together, with a couple guys and coming and working out in the sandbox or in the cold gym. And I think that's what, people don't know about this young man, the things he's done. He's in the cold gym when it's 30 degrees. There ain't no heat in there, folks. No heat. Ain't no heat turned on. He's in there with gloves, no gloves or, and with sweats on. But this is what builds a champion. A champion is built by guys that work, not people that talk about it, but people that put the work in. As you can see, he didn't pout, he didn't cry, he didn't, oh man, Sperry's here, Cash is here. Then last year they had the young man start in front of him. They easily could have done the same thing. Anderson could easily, pout and said, Dad, I want to leave, and blah, blah, blah. And he didn't. He stuck around. He waited to his turn, and he got his turn. And guess what? He's a state champion. One of the things he put, I woke up a state champion. And he's right. He woke up a state champion. But can't nobody take that from him? You look at Delage, like I said, you talk about him, being Gatorade Player of the Year. This guy, he's still the same kid. He was the same kid Saturday when he scored 4 touchdowns, and then he was last week when he had, didn't know he was going to win the Gatorade Player of the Year. And that's what set these kids apart, because they're not cocky, they're not arrogant, they're just great ball players. And that comes, it starts at home. First thing, if you ever hear Anderson speak, he speaks, I want to give all the glory to God. And a lot of these kids don't do that. It's your ability comes from your parents and the man up above keeping you safe and healthy. So He's done all the right things to to get himself to being the starting quarterback. This year at Carl Albert. Coach Johnson, a great offensive coordinator, great mind of this guy. I'm telling you right now, this guy can go be a college coordinator, and the plays he called, and he calls them at the right time, and he does all the things right. So, but like I said, Anderson, heck of a season. Overall numbers were 145 for 213, 248. 25 TDs, folks. Here's the biggest deal. I can say it now. The season's over. His dad got mad at me because I said it earlier in the year. He had no interception. 0 interception, folks. 25 TDs, no interceptions. That's a guy. Not only did he manage the game, kind of like what Newcastle said, he owned the game. So that just puts him ahead, above water as a QB at Carl Albert. He wasn't one of the guys like some of these other guys they've had run the ball. When he had to run, he did run. As he got better as the time went on, him running the ball. So I think next year he'll be even more of a dual threat, running the ball and throwing the ball. And folks, this is the I think out of 22 starters, I think they got 17 coming back. That's offense and defense. Man, that's big time. So all you got to do is now grab a couple of young men that's going to plug in wide. The young freshman has stepped his game up, and Johnson gets hurt. Johnson plays one side of the ball. Wyatt plays the defense side of the ball. Kid is about 6'4", 2 something. So he's gonna have a chance to go play Division I, football. I think baseball, and I think he even gets some looks in basketball. He'll help Coach Johnson this year. Coach Price this year on the basketball court. So Carl don't fall off, folks. I think Newcastle's gonna be good next year. I think, Bishop McGinnis, they was kind of the Cinderella team, but, the clock struck, and then the slipper fell off. And so they didn't have enough juice to get with Carl Albert. Made a couple plays, had Carl Albert, some couple times 3rd, 7th, 3rd, 8th, 3rd, 9, but Carl Albert found a way to make it play. Delashe didn't have his, big, 200-yard game, but still had 28 carries, 104 yards, 4 TDs. His first TD was probably the TD that I'm telling you right now. He hit like 4 or 5 people, and I'm telling you right now, nobody wanted to hit him after that. Nobody wanted to tackle him. Not one-on-one at least. I'm telling you right now, what he did on that first run to the end zone, running people over, knocking them down, stiff-arming them, and telling them, hey, this is my ring. Get out my way. Move something. Get out the way. Get out the way. That's exactly what he said. Move something. Get out the way. But just a big time run right there. That was a big boy run. That was a college back run right there. So if you're not on this kid, don't wait, because people's going to jump on him. He got some offers, but they're going to come. The kid wins Gatorade Player of the Year. He's just a hell of an athlete. He's going to go play basketball, start on a basketball team. He's going to run track for Coach Cam, and he's going to do big things in track. So, my kid, I don't know what I do with him, because the kid is so gifted, and this is the truth, folks. He's so gifted, and he don't care, because whatever you want him to do, he's going to go do. He was still shooting baskets, during football season, get ready for basketball season. That's just how dedicated he is, and that's the type of young man that every father likes for his daughter, because he's a worker. If the kid is working now, he's going to work when it's time to get out in real life, and that's what you want, man. So Stephanie, Cole, the Matthews, you guys have done a great job with this young man. The Colliers, you guys have done a great job with y'all's kids. Not only they're superstars on the field, but they're superstars out of the game, and that's what people like. I love to see that. I love to see Anderson give a interview to Channel 4 and Channel 9. I don't know what he was looking at when Jordan was giving him this interview, but did a great job on that. They both did a great job. And folks, that's one reason I kind of bring these kids on this show, because they learn how to talk, and they get to talk in front of you. They're not scared. Even me, I get scared at times, and I've been doing it for 5 years. But congratulations to the Carl Albert Titans as they win their 20th gold ball. Coach Dunn and your staff, well deserved. Good job, and I know you guys going to keep rocking and rolling. You're not going to stop at 20. I know you're looking for some more, so congratulations, you guys, as y'all start preparing for next year's season. Moving on to class, 4A. 4A. You had Elgin over Cushion, 52-6. Then you had Tuttle over Broken Bow, That's going to be a rematch of last year's state championship with Tuttle versus Elgin. My man Cruz. You're going to get you one, son. I'm putting my money on you. I think Cruz will take care of Elgin. I mean, yes, Elgin's good, but I think Cruz and the Tuttle Tigers are just a little bit too much this year. They got the taste of apple. The apple fell out of their hands, so they couldn't finish eating it. So this year they're going to get to finish eating the apple, and they're going to get themselves a gold ball. Like I said, like we got on here at UCO, that game will be played next Saturday night at Chad Richardson Stadium at 7 p.m. So make sure you get there. Hope the weather's a little bit better than last week. A little chilly. So that's going to be your 4A state championship game. Then moving down to 3A, you're going to have Lincoln Christian all over Heritage Hall, 28-7. Then you're going to have Sofer. They was over Perkins Tryon, 35-8. So you'll have Lincoln Christian versus Sofer next Saturday at 12 p.m. Noon. So get there early. One thing I want to say, OSSA done a great job. A lot of work for those guys, UCO and their staff out there. Just a lot of work. I mean, hours and hours and hours of doing this, getting it cleaned up, getting ready for the next game. UCO's football team. Some of the staff and all that out there, making sure everything is taken care of, and keeping you off the sidewalk if you don't have a pass. I mean, they're just doing their job, but great job on the OSSA and then, like I said, the UCO team getting stuff done. But like I said, you have Lincoln Christian versus Sofer next Saturday. Next Saturday at 12 p.m. 12 a.m. Not 12 afternoon. So right at lunchtime kickoffs, and then you're gonna have Washington all over OCS 41-20. Then you had Jones all over Marlowe 48-21. At one point in time, that game was I think it was a 1-point game, and then Jones and Hanson and those guys. I think Hanson was pretty much perfect, only threw one incomplete pass, and that was to the other team for interception, pick 6. Folks, this kid's another kid that's a stud. Hanson just got it going on. I mean, don't know why he hasn't been recruited. Hopefully Coach Witt and Coach Darrell can get this guy a scholarship because he is a ball player. He's a big time player. Sometimes I don't know if he hasn't been noticed yet, but once he get on somebody's campus and get to work quick as hell. So they're going for their first stage championship. They're going against Washington, a team that's tough. Won a lot of state championships. Usually it's been Washington and Millwood. Millwood, finally didn't make it this year. Jones knocked them off early in the year, so Millwood didn't make it to the playoffs. But folks, this is gonna be a tough one to pick. I'm gonna go with my green. I like my Longhorns. I got a chance to coach some of these guys. When they was in 6th grade, we won the 6th grade championship. I know this ain't 6th grade, but some of these guys, know how to win. Washington does know how to win. They've been there, but I'm gonna take Jones 35-28, bringing home their 2nd state championship in the last 10 years. So Hanson and Luke, you guys go get it. Had these guys on the show about a week ago. Great job, folks, watching the show, following and all that. But I really think that Jones is going to take care of business in that part. So good luck to Jones. And then your other 2A, you got Adair. You got Adair over Stroud. Great game, 42-40. Guess somebody went for 2-point conversion, didn't get it. Didn't get a chance to watch it. Then you got Vian over Davis, 21-0. So you're gonna have Adair versus Vian Friday afternoon at 12. So should be a really good game. Next Friday afternoon. That's Friday afternoon. Both 2As will play Friday. Jones will play 7 p.m. Over at Chad Richardson Stadium. So it should be packed. Both teams. Washington's going to shut the whole town down. Johnny Pat will be closed again this Friday night, folks. So if you need to get some gas and all those things, you better get it Thursday because they will shut down. And that whole stadium, that Chad Richardson Stadium on Friday night is going to be green. You're going to think it's St. Patrick's Day. All the green is going to be in that stadium. 2 great teams going at it. Like I said, that's a great championship game, folks. I mean, it really is. You look at some of these games during the state championship. They don't pan out like they should be. But Carl Albert got away from the game, man. I mean, I don't ever really think it was a game at any point. Like I said, Bishop McGinnis is good, but Carl Albert is just too good for him. And so same thing kind of with Bixby and Owasso, two teams that played in the state championship last year. Owasso comes up short again, even though they had Blankenship back. Last year they had Antonio, same results. But, if there's anybody can get them going, it's Blankenship. I think that's become a big-time rival. So see how that goes next year. But like I said, the big game, I think, out of all the games this week is going to be Washington and Jones, man. I think that's going to be a knockdown, drag out, I think whoever has the ball last is going to win the state championship and then go from there. But a lot of great things, man. Congratulations to all the teams that did win and all the teams that made it. Somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. But at the end of the day, great job from all the teams, though. Coaches, wives, players. I mean, it's a long 14 weeks. I mean, I know they say 14 weeks, but it's longer than that when you're going in the summertime and all the things that you do in the spring and get spring ball. And so it's a long time. I know these guys are probably glad to, get a chance to spend a little time with their family because, Sundays you're really game planning and the team is really good. You can probably it's a pretty cool feeling as your kid wins that and wears that ring around. You saw those guys the other day. Some of the Carl Albert guys was there. They had their rings on and, supporting the other guys. But good deal. Keep it 100. We'll keep it rocking and rolling. Don't know if I'll be on next week. I'll be out of town heading to Arkansas with the Lady Titans as they get ready to take on their first tournament this year. Fort Smith, some good teams. I think they kick off Thursday night, 7:30, either 7:30, 8 o'clock. Should be a good tournament. We'll talk a little bit more of that on my girls show tonight as we get ready. It's got a big game Tuesday night as Newcastle Racers take on Dale City Lady Eagles at Dale City tomorrow night, 6 a.m., folks. If you're looking for a great high school girls basketball game, I think Mill City's off and Carl Albert's off. So that place is going to be rocking. I mean, it's going to be jumping, folks. Get your popcorn ready. Get there early. It's going to be packed because you got Dale City's ranked number 1 in the state of Class 5A. Newcastle, with all their stars they got over there, ranked number 4. All right, Carl Albert's ranked number 3. I think they got Booker T ranked number 2. But a great 5A game. There'll be some other good games tomorrow night. I think UConn takes on Sapopa. Should be a great game. Right now, you're fighting for district spot. You're fighting to get yourself in the dance. I know a lot of these teams are undefeated right now. I think Dale City's 2-0, Carl Albert's 2-0, and Mill City's 2-0. Mill City's is knocked off Guyman and knocked off the 2-time state champion Jennifer Douglas, but she's down. But don't count her out. She's still the GOAT, folks. She found a way. It's only 2 games in the season. A lot of things can happen. Injuries, the sick bug, all things can happen. So I knock on wood to try to hope every girl can stay healthy. That's the most important thing. But like I said, the biggest thing is, like I said, if you want to kind of get a recap of what's going on, once again, congratulations to all the teams that made it to state and got a chance to battle for a state championship. It's no place better than trying to win a state championship and getting to play at the stadium. I do love the format that everybody plays there, so it's been a good format. So OSSA and whoever got that going, good job. But folks, you know what time it is when you hear this. Go. But I'll be back. I'll be back sooner than you think. We'll start talking a little bit of high school wrestling. As Carl Albert, Coach Hodges, think he got a team that can win it this year. Hey, wait a minute. I ain't tough. Who's going to be the team in 6A? Still Stillwater? Broken Arrow get something going? Is it Edmond North? We'll talk about those in the next few weeks, man. We'll start talking a little bit more wrestling. Bring a couple wrestlers on the show and talk to them. I love to get a volleyball player on. I've never done Keep It 100. Congratulations to my granddaughter. And she won her first cheer competition. And she had to tell me, Papa, there was 3 teams. So I'm going to give it up to her, man. I'm going to clap a little bit for her because she didn't go against her own team. She went against the other team. So good job to that. Good job. Good luck to my son this week as he goes battle and try to tournament out there here in Indianapolis. UCO's team will be traveling this weekend up there. He won it last year. Hopefully he can redeem and win it again this year. Folks, happy holidays. Merry Christmas as we get ready close to the Christmas season. Get all your shopping done. And like I said, Jiminy Christmas. I love it. I'm out. Bingo!